It is time for our monthly segment, KEZI 9 Checks In, a monthly reminder around the 9th of the month for women and self-breast exams to check for any lumps or changes. And we're also focusing on what can be an embarrassing issue for women to bring up with their doctors. But there are things you can do to help with incontinence. Here's KEZI 9 News anchor Renee McCullough.
Well, joining me now is Dr. Melissa Edwards from Women's Care, and today we are going to talk about incontinence, and there are two main types. So can you describe what those are?
Sure. The primary types are stress incontinence and urge incontinence. Stress incontinence is involuntary loss of urine, usually with some kind of activity, like coughing, sneezing, running, jumping.
On the trampoline, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly. I call it the great equalizer.
Yes, yes.
And then urge incontinence, which is the more classic, can't get to the bathroom in time. Got a sudden urge to go, can't quite get there, and I'm leaking on the way.
Okay, and so can you talk about the risk factors then for urge incontinence?
Sure. Urge incontinence is a bit of a mystery to us in terms of why it starts in the first place, but we do know that there are certain things that will aggravate it once a woman develops the condition. So carrying a little extra weight, smoking, ingesting certain irritants to the bladder, and nobody likes to hear this, but coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, carbonation, artificial sweeteners, the diet sodas, for example, are a provoking agent for a lot of women. Certain medications might cause it. And even just being a woman of habit. I always go to the bathroom when I leave the house, come home from work. Those can be triggers then once our brain and our bladder start to conspire against us.
So obviously cutting some of those things out would help. Are there other ways that you can manage it?
Absolutely. So we think about how we can train our bladder to behave differently. So thinking about changing up our habits. Strengthening our pelvic floor so that when we get that sudden urge, we can really contract the pelvic muscles and avoid leakage.
Sure.
For those women who have tried everything, they've eliminated the coffee and the artificial sweeteners, and they've got their strong pelvic floor muscles, then we sometimes go to medication.
Okay, and is there, what kinds of medication? I mean, is there stuff that really...
There are a whole variety of medications. Older medications have been around for many, many years, and then newer ones that are perhaps better well tolerated. So if a woman's tried something in the past and says, I never want to try that again, she should know that there are newer medications on the market now that have fewer side effects and are very effective.
Oh, that's great to hear, yes. Is there anything then that women can do to prevent it as we age?
Absolutely. So again, thinking about keeping a normal body weight, avoiding smoking, avoiding those irritants. Cup of coffee a day, one thing. A pot of coffee a day, another thing. Thinking about avoiding habits, not being a woman who always goes to the bathroom at the same time in the same place.
Can you talk about medications then to treat it?
Sure. There are a number of medications on the market. They've been around for many, many years. There are older medications that are now generic, and there are newer medications that have fewer side effects and are better tolerated. So women shouldn't be afraid to try something, even if they've tried something in the past.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you'd like more information, you can go to womenscare.com.
Be sure to go to our website to sign up for KEZI 9 Checks In, and we'll send you a reminder each month to do your monthly self-breast exam.